So I think we can start now.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Okay, let's start now. So, faith is a bird that feels the light when the dawn is still dark, as quoted by our Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman on while presenting the budget 2021. So, the budget was focusing on infrastructure, sharp focus on infrastructure, healthcare, digital transformation, and the reviving economy of India after the COVID-19 induced market recession. But what is there for us in the like what is there for entrepreneurship, for MSMs, for small businesses, for startups? With all such questions, we will move ahead in our today's debate. So today we are having Mr. Firozuddin sir with us, well known for his deep knowledge in the domain, and I and sir would discuss on this topic. So welcome you all for today's session of debate, Budget 2021 Entrepreneurial Decode. So first, sir would present a PPT for us, and then we will go ahead for the debate. So move on to you, sir.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. And at the very outset, I would like to thank you. Thank the ECEL, Galgotia ECEL, and also the university and the entire setup, my dean and all the management, senior management officials for making this event happen. And next is before basically the topic, you understand, I have to talk about how the budget is going to really help in the businesses, particularly in the new ventures, in the startup kind of atmosphere, and even also how it can support MSMEs. But before that, I would like to start with a very simple understanding of the budget. I believe a lot of students are also from the engineering side, and and of course the students from BBA or MBA, they know what is budget, and many of the non-business background students, they may not be knowing exactly what is the budget. So I would start with some kind of a simple example of what exactly is the role of the budget. And so this is what I'm going to talk about. Okay, so this would be the flow of discussion. So I will just introduce what exactly is the budget, and how it is so relevant when we run a business. Okay, and definitely I would also talk about the budget 21-22, and we'll have a general discussion also and some kind of understanding or what exactly is the general understanding of the budget 21-22. But slowly I will take you to the understanding of the businesses, how it would be affected, or how the budget is going to create a lot of ground for the startups, MSMEs, ventures. And because we believe the corona has given us a lot of new dimension, lot of new perspective in our life. And I am really and sometimes I believe why I didn't start a business of my own. So during Corona time, everybody must have taken a lesson like me, that everybody should have another source of income. Even I just tell my students also in the classroom that we must thank Corona in spite of all whatever the odds we know. But if you look at, because in the classroom kind of atmosphere, we need to look at the positive perspective more than the negative perspective. So I tell my student, make it a point that when you start, maybe having your first job, so you must try to get another, source of earning. That I really missed out. So that I really made a mistake in not starting a business of my own when I had the first job. But definitely our university is giving a lot of focus on the subjects of, entrepreneurship, and even as the school of business, it's very much dedicated. If you can start something at a very early stage like BBA, forget MBA, why not from BBA itself. Similarly, I know a lot of students are running or helping their parents also, and uh, understanding business, from the parents sometimes becomes difficult. As I have been teaching a lot of students, I have been interacting with a lot of industry people, and because my nature, my I have got a 12 years of industry experience, and my wife, though she's a housewife, but she is also running a small setup in my home itself. And so why not students also more think about? I know many of the students are doing it. I remember one student from BBA. I think he must have been to now semester two, Sakti. Okay, he comes to me every time. He has joined his father's business, and many times he comes. He's a good investor. Okay, in fact, he has started investing after interacting with me for a long time. So coming, so businesses, it's something like we can do. Even we have seen that 2 days seminar, which ended yesterday. So a lot of IITs, what they have started, you must have seen, all of you have attended. So a lot of IITs, what they have done, the faculties, they have been like one IIT from Delhi, I believe. So they were talking about the faculty would be given some money, and the faculty can take sabbatical leave for 2 years, 3 years, and a good amount of money like 50 lakhs would be given. And so very simple, when the faculty is talking about so much of good things in the classroom about the business, how to run a business, like today we are talking about budget, how it is going to affect business, surely uh, there has to be some exploring, there has to be many experimentation that can be done by also the faculty. Then why not students? So that is the biggest question, that is the big question now. And I have seen a lot of changes also happening in this new generations, and in the I mean the whatever the students we are having in our university, a lot of changes are happening. um, Earlier I was listening, when I was talking to any student, the student was saying, sir, I will start a job, I will start with a job for 4 or 5 years, then definitely I will start some business afterwards. But now again the things have changed. Now if you ask any students, that student definitely must be thinking something. Okay, okay, something to start something, like that. So corona, so that's what I'm saying. Things are changing very fast, and many a times with the faculty you get surprised that how the business can be only limited to keeping all the kind of evaluations, the classroom teaching, how it can be limited to only the four walls. So it has to come out from the four walls maybe, and start venturing. Each faculty, like PhD students in IIT, so they have been given an instruction to run some startups. So this is all, to start with. I mean, I must tell you, the students, they must feel very lucky, that so much of new things are coming up, so much of support from the government. Even if you look at the budget, definitely I will talk about a lot of support system is there, and a lot of good ground has been made. And definitely, why not to start a business at the very early stage? Start with a small money, doesn't matter, even if it's a loss, but definitely loss is a good platform to learn better. So I can tell you about my investment in stock market. So I have learned the best thing in the stock market because of I incurred losses. I incurred losses for a long time, and I can see my wife also running some ventures, and she's also struggling at this point of time. But definitely, whatever the things I know, I just share with her. uh, she's from the philosophy background, but she also did her MBA. all this stuff. So I'll talk about definitely the budget. I believe lots of things are there in spite of there is no such major change in the income tax support. But before the budget, there was some economic slowdown for 2 to 3 years before even this corona. Before even this corona, we have experienced that slowdown, and everybody knows that there was a slowdown. So growth rate got declined. We have seen that growth rate of 9%. Now we are struggling with the negative growth rate, and further this budget is definitely going to dampen the kind of growth rate what we're expecting. The 5 trillion US dollar definitely is at the back door now, back seat now. So the deficit which were being expected at 7%, as you see the budget, I would show you the paper. That budget talks about that deficit, fiscal deficit. It has gone high to almost more than 9%. But you have seen that impact if you have watched the market after 1st February when the budget was presented. It was I mean, the kind of the jump, for the first, like it was absolutely what our finance minister had earlier given in the hint, you have to watch, the budget would be never, kind of the budget earlier you have seen. So definitely the budget has given the kind of, what was the expectation that as Prime Minister talked about before presenting the budget. I mean, at least month back, our Prime Finance Minister talked about that you have to really watch this time the budget. It would be exceptional one, and that really matched to also with the development what we witnessed in the stock market. The first day itself, the market was high by almost 2,300 points. The second day again 500, again third day another 5 to 600, and of course it is continuing its that winning that northwards jump, northward movement spree. So everybody is happy. Even people have started talking about from 50,000 to 1 lakh kind of Sensex number. So that is surprising. So lots of things are happening. Lots of people are very positive, and people have started talking about that maybe within this year itself we are going to rebound. Our economy is going to rebound. Lots of research, lots of articles. They are talking about that by 31st March our economy would be back to the earlier stage, okay, back to the same kind of trend. So lots of good things. And of course I will talk about also the Atmanirbhar Bharat. So that's the slogan given by our Prime Minister, Honorable Prime Minister. So definitely I would just take you to some key points of this Atmanirbhar Bharat, and definitely next would conclude. So just to start with the budget, as our finance minister talked about, that it would be focusing on 6 pillars: health and well-being. So that when the government is very much committed to spend such a huge amount of money for healthcare and the kind of vaccination program going on, okay. So definitely government has to set aside a good amount of money on this particular area. Then physical, financial capital and infrastructure. So definitely one of the reason why the stock market has gone so high, it is because of the lot of capital expenditure the government has committed. Okay, such a huge amount of capital expenditure, including the stimulus package to the banking sectors. So lots of banks they have suffered because of the kind of support system as directed by RBI or as asked by the government. Lot of support was asked to the banking sector and
Yes.
financial institutions to provide the support system. And so it was really the bankers, they really came forward to support these MSMEs before even this budget, before even this corona, that. And the bankers have suffered. Bankers have incurred a huge amount of loss. So to mitigate, that the bankers should not suffer. So government has given a stimulus, 30,000 crores amount of some support system, capital injection. And of course the money has to be spent on various infrastructure, physical and infrastructure, so that the money ultimately it would come to the economy, and definitely it would channelize a lot of economic activities, jobs, placement, etc., etc. So that will further lead to inclusive development of aspirational India. And of course, a lot of money amount has been set aside to support this human capital, because that our country has got such a populous country and such a big human capital we are carrying. So if properly given the support system, and if provided a lot of support, a lot of by the government, and also making the ground right for them to work, so definitely sky's the limit. Similarly, we have to also go with the R&D innovations, and of course the government has to not to be like looking after I mean the government activities has to be also focusing more on the governance than only focusing on other things. So this is quickly just to, because I told you that before I talk about relating the entrepreneurial decode, okay, of the budget, I must tell you what exactly the budget all about. So budget, as you understand, we have to prepare a statement. Like for example, if you ask me, if I'm running my home, so are you not? Is that I'm not preparing a budget? Yes, definitely it is in my mind. Every month I have to think about how the expenditure in my family, okay, has to be met out. So you know that Corona has all affected adversely each and every aspect of our life. So many of the businesses has been down. A lot of people have lost their job. A lot of people are not getting salary in time, etc., etc. So definitely, when a person who has not got the salary, or whose business has been down, so at this point of time also, if he doesn't think about the budget, so surely it is going to be a big crisis for that person. So now coming to this country's budget, finance budget, you can see this that Satvik, can you see this slide?
Yes, sir. I can see.
Okay, so like you can see here, 2019 and 2020, this is all actuals, the data, and the
Yes,
revenue receipts, capital receipts. So there is a total receipt and there is a total expenditure. Of course, then total receipt and minus total expenditure. So there are a lot of deficits you can see. There is a revenue receipt, there is a effective revenue deficit, and there is a fiscal deficit. And all I said, the government was expecting for 2021-22 that the budgeted deficit, fiscal deficit would be 6.8, but now we are going to settle down at 9.5. So definitely it's not a good thing.
yes,
A lot of things we have to compromise, like because of the earlier economic slowdown, and also further this corona, and subsequent, even if we are recovering from the corona to some extent, but further, the migrant workers, they have gone, I mean, they have left the industry, they have left the metro places, and so getting back that the same pace of the economy, it will take some time. So definitely it will take some time, but I'm very hopeful that things would move on the right side. And you can see this, for example, if you look at the expenditure, why the market had responded so positively. Just look at this. Okay, so look at the total expenditure. Okay, and look at earlier total. I mean, if you look
yes,
at the 2019 and 20. Okay, if you look at 2019 and 2020, so total expenditure was this much, 266, 2686. Now in this 2020-21, which is not our area of consideration. Actually, this is the year ending. So we are estimating that our 2686, okay, it is going to arrive at 3042. But if you look at the
increase.
revised estimate, because but whenever you make the budget estimate, you further revise it. So now you can see the revised estimate. So from 2686 to 3042, now it is going to be 3450. Okay, but if you look at now this 2021 and 22, it has further increased. And
Yes,
so
sir.
and like the income side also, it has declined in 2020 and 21. If you look at this budget estimate, now look at the revised estimates, it has declined, but we are hopeful that in case of 21-22, so this should increase. So this way you can see that your expenditure should be kind of less. If you look at a good budget, like the budget of a developed country, okay? and because we are a developing country, our budget would be always carrying a kind of deficit, kind of, so expenditure would be always more than the receipts.
Exactly.
Okay, but if you look at the kind of developed countries, you will see that there would be surplus. There would be surplus. So, as a manager in a company, or as a our prime minister in a country, okay, or a finance minister in a country, so their entire objective is to see that, to manage the funds properly, okay, to reduce the expenditure. I remember long back when the budget was being presented, the finance minister also was talking about reducing the expenditure. So what the government would do to reduce the expenditure? So definitely this government is also has been doing lots of things. We have been trying to reduce the expenditure, whether it's a revenue expenditure or capital expenditure kind of things. Like Delhi government is an example. I know that a lot of expenditure they have reduced because of applying a lot of good management concepts. Anyway, quickly, because I have to take you to a lot of other slides. So quickly you can see this. If the government is spending, how much the total amount is going towards. Suppose rupee, out of rupee one, so 20% is towards the interest payment, and then next is your state shares of taxes, central sector. I mean, there are good big schemes. The country is running, like Mahatma Gandhi. Sorry. What is that, Narega kind of program project, social projects, lots of projects. So 14%, and similarly a lot of other finance commissions and other transfers. It's a good amount of money, 10%. Other expenditure 10%. Subsidy, government spends a lot of money, and defense also 8%. But when we are earning a rupee, so the maximum receipts or the money we are receiving from borrowing, that's a area of concern, 36%, and other liabilities. So it's not a good thing. While we are receiving money through GST 15%, income tax close very 14%, corporation tax also, corporate tax, income tax, and GST very close, and but other part is small 8%, union excise duties, etc., etc. Okay, tax proposal. I don't. Yeah, tax proposals.
Sir, that was that जो आप समझा रहे थे अभी, ये एक्सप्लेन कर रहा है कि हमको गवर्नमेंट को मनी कहाँ से आता है, किस सेक्टर से कितना डोमेन से पैसा आता है, वो एक्सप्लेन कर रहे थे आप.
Right. तो
Okay.
अभी उसके बाद, I mean, you can see this tax proposal. Absolutely, there is no such radical change, except few, some kind of what do you say, making easy the tax process. Like for example, income tax return for the senior citizen 75 years and above. Okay, they don't have to. I mean, the compliances part they have taken care. Reducing the time limit of income tax assessment, so quick assessment, and then dispute resolution committee to be so there is a committee to be set up for the small taxpayers. Then faceless income tax appellate tribunal. So a lot of disputes are getting resolved through tribunal, and that too, that's a faceless. And similarly, there has to be increase in time limit for tax audit. So this is connected to business. Okay, so the company which are making their transactions 95% digitally, so there is some tax audit, limit has increased. Dividend payment to your real estate infrastructure trust, and these are the new concepts. Okay, now the lot of real estate companies are selling their products through these trusts. REIT is your real estate infrastructure trust, and similarly, this is your infrastructure. Okay, again trust. So some TDS. This is just a small thing. Like what I want to say, that majorly there is no such a big radical change in the tax structure. It's only more of facilitating the compliance part. Then let's quickly come to the now connecting this startups and incentives, startup and MSMEs, all this stuff. So now look at this sentence. What our look at this line. What our finance minister has said. In order to incentivize startups in the country, I propose to extend the eligibility for claiming tax holiday for startups by 1 more year. So earlier, this this tax holiday kind of facility, it was given up to only this 31st March 2021. Now it has been extended to another 1 year. Okay, so definitely the startups, they are going to not to pay any tax on their profit. or on their profit. Then in order to, and further there's a capital gain also. That's a very good thing. The same was also prevailing. This same was also allowed up to 31st March 2021. I mean this March, but now it has been also extended. So what? Let me also tell you what exactly this capital gain. So supposing I've invested in a kind of startup, or in a kind of what the funding agency or something like that. So now
Yes, sir.
suppose I want to sell my stake. I have some shares, maybe that's unlisted, but some shares in a startup, which I suppose I'm now going to sell it. So in that case, suppose I purchase these shares maybe by paying 100 rupees, but later if I can sell it at say 150 rupees, so 50 rupees is the gain. Now the rule was there up to only this 31st March 2021 that this capital gain was exempted. But now it has been extended to also the next another year up to 31st March 2022. So this is really going to help. And further, a company or an LL company, and LLP, this is the best practices like limited liability partnership. So there is a partnership and there is also limited liability partnership. In case of partnership firm, there is unlimited liability. So the partners, they carry a lot of liability. Their personal assets also can be liable for the business liabilities, business obligations. But in case of
Yes,
LLP,
sir.
they have only restricted, or you can say the limited liabilities. So that's the best thing. I would quote one example of some lines or some statement given by Vijay Mallya. Like people criticize Vijay Mallya in most of the social community sites, and he had responded by saying, "Ki, why me? Hello, why me? Okay, why you are blaming me? Is that I have taken the 9,000 crores? It is basically the company had taken the loan. Okay, of course I was the MD, I was the chairman of the company, but why you blame me? So you understand now. So unless until the court fixes the responsibility that this person has utilized the business property for his personal gain, nobody should blame that person. So that is called the limited liability. Okay. So you should not be, the person should not be blamed for the business affairs. But of course, the court has to examine whether the person has used the person has used the business assets for his own purpose, for his personal gain or not. That has to be examined. That is called the corporate veil. But anyway, so what it says here that a company or an LLP incorporated on or before, so now they will be eligible to claim the prescribed tax rebate of 100% of its profit. Okay. So the businesses, so they are going to get the 100% tax exemptions, and this extension of the capital gains exemptions will be available to individuals. So now it has come down to even individuals and Hindu undivided families. So like the company is a person, LLP is a kind of body. So similarly, individuals and Hindu undivided family also, they can invest in startups. Okay. So you understand now, if you are investing in startups, so you'll gain this capital gain exemption. And after a particular period, if you sell your shares, definitely you will get the exemptions. You don't have to pay tax. But this, that we already discussed. It was earlier given up to 31st March 2021, but now it has been extended to 1 year more. Okay.
So basically, sir, this is given to motivate the environment, startup environment in the
Definitely,
country.
investment should increase in the startups. Investment
Mm.
should increase in the startup. And another thing, our finance minister has talked about 1% company. It's again, like I was talking about LLP. Again, it's a new setup. All the best things, all the best regulations now available in our country. And
Mm.
really, people should look forward to use this kind of setup. Like, for example, if I compare sole proprietor, and I mean, there's a single person running a business, sole proprietor, which is not a
Mm.
OPC, but there is a OPC on the other side. So again, OPC carries just limited liability, whereas sole proprietor carries unlimited liability. So this is the best thing, that when like a startup they want to run, instead of making a private company, they must look forward to having a OPC. One person also can start a company. It's very interesting. Earlier, when we were studying, we were always defining company or partnership as association of person, two or more persons.
Yes, sir. Yes.
But now one person can create a company. This has already come. The Companies Act 2013 introduced this OPC. But now the startups can be run through OPC. Okay, and definitely
Yes.
there is also some restriction also were there. Like here you can see that if the capital paid up capital of the OPC, if suppose that surpasses 50 lakhs, or its average annual turnover, if it is increasing average, of the last 3 years, if it is suppose exceeding the 2 crores, then the company has to be converted into private or public company. Okay, so this is the rule. But
Yes.
for the startups, this is not being applied. Okay, and interestingly, further, generally the startup OPC kind of setup, it can generally it is created by the Indian citizen or resident of our country. In income tax, you will study maybe sometimes when you start inquiring, there is a resident, there is a non-resident kind of stuff. So this OPC can be set up only by the resident individual and that Indian citizen. But now even NRIs also can, create startup. Okay, create now OPC, and that restriction of 182 days for the resident, a person to be called resident. Now it can also reduce from 182 days to 128 days. So you can look forward to a lot of money. Okay, so NRIs and also Indian citizen, so definitely they can start investing in startup, particularly 1% company to startup. So of course some insolvency resolution. Suppose that Indians, it has been noticed that we feel very bad when we want to declare ourselves insolvent or bankrupt. But you know that
Yes.
foreign countries, if your business is not running well, if your business is not running well, very simple, you go to the court and declare yourself as the insolvent. So nobody will catch you. You would be discharged from all obligations. Of course, you have to lose each and every asset. Okay, but that is very nice. You can start a fresh new life. You can start a new business also. Okay, so that insolvency resolutions, it would be quick. It's all leading to that ease of doing business. All of you must be knowing that India is progressing well in the ease of doing business index. So we have been very much improving, and this is further going to simplify the things, and our ease of doing business will further improve. Okay, in the global ranking. So there would be e-courts, I mean, electronic or whatever e-court system as the government has proposed. So these things are going to resolve a lot of disputes connected to business. Of course, the government has also budgeted a huge amount of money for the MSME sector. Okay, more than double, almost 100% jump from 7572 crore from the preceding budget to this budget to the extent of 15,700 crores. And of course, some duty has been slashed, which is again further going to help MSMEs. Similarly, some duty has been exempted on the steel sector, which will further support our Indian domestic, MSME sector. Also, minister also proposed an increase in duty from 10 percentage to 15 percentage. Okay, this is again going to help the MSMEs. Then imports exempt. So earlier imports would be exempted so that people will purchase more Indian product. So those things are also there. And definition of like that small medium enterprises, those definitions have been changed. I will show you also that limit. Okay, so these limits are definitely going to help SMEs, MSMEs, in the sense that, for example, if it is a small setup and it's a micro, small, medium enterprise registered, so in that case, the company or the business can enjoy a lot of facilities. The interest rate would be lower. The compliances part is very less. Okay, and a lot of support system through whatever, like for example, collateral less borrowing. So whenever you go for a borrowing, you need to produce a lot of collateral. So now there will not be collateral for the MSMEs. So lots of things are there. Time is less, so I'm little speeding up. Okay, digital payments boost.
Yes.
Yes, finance minister has talked about uh, uh, you know uh, setting aside some 1,500 crores for the digital modes of payment. So this is again going to help the MSMEs. And now before this budget, in fact, before Corona, there is also existing income tax system which allows the company to enjoy some less tax, that is 15 percentage, but you have to be engaged in some businesses which is very specific. Okay, like for example, other than manufacturing of production of article and thing and research in relation to or distribution of article or thing manufactured. So I can tell you lots of examples like if you go to Mandi, you can see lots of vegetables or fruits, they are being thrown away in the evening time because people, the farmers, they cannot carry it back to their home because it is costly, and next they don't have the storage facilities. So companies which are, I mean, particularly I'm talking to the students only, those who are or parents also, parents of the students, you can really share uh, if you can start having a cold storage facility, okay, nearby to Mandi, okay, nearby to Mandi, not only you will get concessional loan, there is a tax rate also very friendly, very less tax rate you have to pay, and there are so many other stuff provided you get registered as a MSMEs. Okay, so it's not simply running a kind of small setup. You need to register also as a MSME, body. Similarly, the
So like,
tax rate.
sir,
Huh.
it's like arrow shooting two targets. Means it is favoring the wastage of vegetables, favoring the farmers also, and promoting startups also, new business idea of
Not
cold
only that,
storage.
much like you think about a lot of countries like Brazil and other African countries, they are
Mhm.
exporting. There are a lot of foreign exchange the country can earn. Okay,
Yes,
like
sir.
सेमी जैसे होता है ना, टमाटर आधा खराब है लेकिन जो आधा अच्छा है उसका तो केचप बन सकता है ना. ओके, उसका अचार भी तो
Exactly,
बन सकता है
exactly.
ना. So these things, there are countries, they are earning lots of foreign exchange. So, and that too, RBI has given instruction to all the banks, they must, because it's a huge loss of our country. You can search the data like how much foods we are spoilage, how much foods we are wasting, like in
Mm.
Punjab, like in so many other rich states. You can see
Yes, sir.
lots of गेहूं जो खराब हो जाता है. Those things can be little if small care has, of course, some startup, a lot of startups have also have come in this direction, but more are
Yes, sir.
required, definitely more are required. Okay, and of course you will not, I mean, you can either opt for paying 22% tax, another tax regime I'm talking about, another kind of facilities what the government has provided, to pay not 30% tax, normal tax, you can pay 22% provided you have to definitely do some businesses as prescribed by government of India. आपने सुना होगा manufacturing India, make in India, lot of
Yes,
campaigns
sir.
are there. So whatever the businesses, this campaign or the policy made in this regard, they are talking about. If somebody start a business into that, there is definitely tax advantage. उसके बाद फिर आपका जो मैट होता है, मिनिमम अल्टरनेट टैक्स, जो मिनिमम आपको देना चाहिए, उसको भी आपको देने की जरूरत नहीं है. ओके, सो देयर आर लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स, बट यू कैन ऑल्सो ऑप्ट आउट from it. You can pay the 30%, but you can pay higher tax, but of course you have to forego a lot of deductions and incentives. Okay, so lots of things are there. Now coming to Atmanirbhar, you can see lots of fine points like 3 lakh crores collateral free. So these MSMEs, they can look forward to getting loans. Of course, this has not given the right result. Last thing I remember, when government of India before this corona, they had provided a lot of support to MSMEs. Instead of actually see these MSMEs, what they did, after taking the loan, they were supposed to spend on the, invest, they were supposed to invest in the business. What they did, they refunded their earlier loan. Okay, that was not the expectation, as per the expectations. But definitely somebody is serious and wants to run or invest more. Lots of facilities are being provided, and that too, the processing time has also been reduced. Within some minutes, you can get your approval, get your money. Okay, 20,000 crores of subordinate debt. Supposing you have gone for a secured loan, you have
Sir,
mortgaged your, yes,
can you just tell something about MSME? What is exactly MSME?
micro, small, medium enterprise. Micro,
Okay.
small, medium enterprise. Okay. So these are, we'll talk about the limits also. Just wait. Okay. So 3 lakh crore collateral free automatic loans for business, including MSMEs. 20,000 crore subordinate debt. What is subordinate debt? That if I am a MSME and I have some building, okay, I have mortgaged this building. So this is a secured loan. Now showing this building again, I can go for another loan. Okay, I don't have to produce another collateral. मुझे और कोई collateral फिर से produce नहीं करना है. So that is called the subordinate debt. Next is 50,000 crore equity infusion. So fund up funds. A lot of financial institutions have been now given the support by the government. New definition of MSMEs we'll discuss. Global tender to be disallowed up to 200 crores. So government is very serious about our local industry. जैसे भोकाल बनो local के लिए जो kind of campaign, you know that. Okay, so in that case, so kind of we are a lot of foreign companies are coming and they are working on our various Indian projects. So government is serious to set aside some amount for the local industry. So that provision has also been made. Then 2,500 crores of EPF, if the company is not in a position to pay the deposit, that provident fund amount of the employees, so government is supporting also. And similarly, some of the businesses, the government has reduced the EPF rate. Again, 30,000 crores of liquidity facility for the NBFCs, non-banking finance company. There is bank, like there is the two best example is there is a SDFC and there is a SDFC bank. Okay, so SDFC bank is a bank, you know that, but SDFC itself, okay, because actually they started with the SDFC only, but later a part of it was changed to SDFC Bank. Still SDFC existing. So in that case, an SDFC, only SDFC is the NBFC. Okay, non-banking finance company. So if somebody has failed to take the loan, because bankers are a little strict, so they have their formalities and they would always protect their kind of system. So if somebody has failed to get a loan from bank, then that person can go to NBFC, okay, non-banking finance company. And
Yes.
I think then HC, I think cooperatives maybe. Then microfinance, MFI is your microfinance. So microfinance is very much connected to the farmers and downtrodden, business houses. Then 45,000 crore of partial credit guarantee. So NBFCs are going to suffer also because of many of the businesses. They may not be, they may not be successful. In that case, government is committed to support the NBFCs. Like the bankers, I talked about 30,000 crores. Government has earmarked for supporting the banking system. Similarly, 90,000 crore of liquidity injection for discoms. So a lot of power sectors, distribution companies are suffering. So government has set aside also relief to contractors. The government is having then extension of registration of completion of date of some real estate projects are delaying, and they are trapped in the RERA. That is the real estate regulatory authority. RERA. So you know that builders once upon a time, kind of thing. So they mismanage the thing. So now there is a regulatory body, that is RERA, but RERA is also very strict. So in that case, a lot of good projects have been trapped under the rules and regulations. Now those good projects should be given to the private company, or even maybe it would be given some government company. So they are going to execute it, and definitely it would support the real estate market. Then 50,000 crore liquidity through TDS. So so a lot of TDS things are also being simplified. Okay, and this will perhaps inject a lot of money in the economy. Okay, and I was
Exactly.
just talking about that changes in the revise the definition of so micro, small, medium. These were the earlier rules. So investment up to 25 lakhs in case of manufacturing enterprise. So that will come under micro. But now you can see that micro's definition has changed. Now investment up to 1 crore. So you can see more micro companies. Similarly, you can see the more small companies, and similarly, you can see the more medium type companies. So more when they are happening, definitely the facilities would be more. I mean, they can avail a lot of facilities which is there in the system. Just one example, I said they are going to get a concessional loan. They are going to get concessional electricity. They are going to get no collateral facility, etc., etc. And a lot of compliances part also that has been facilitated, and things are now becoming more easier. And that to digital system, the government is all injecting. So that is further going to simplify the system. And definitely, when I'm talking about the simplifying system, means the cost will reduce. And quickly, because the students have got a habit of asking, sir, कौन sector अच्छा है, कौन sector अच्छा नहीं है budget के बाद, I will always advise not to trust this kind of lines. But yes, looking at the budget, the winners are hospital sector, real estate, construction, metal makers, state-run banks, textiles, and the losers are bonds, exporters, farmers, IT firms. But I personally, I'm not happy with this kind of thing. I always say the students, you don't look at this kind of winners and losers. Actually, I believe the losers are better. The losers are definitely going to think better. and the winners are going to maybe suffer. So there is no hard and fast rule here. So these are the media type, they project something for the they are selling of the newspaper or the kind of thing. But business is all business. You have to really come out from that silos that you should only get the support, then only you can do. No, don't expect support from the government. Don't expect, let the government do whatever they want, what, because they are basically addressing to a bigger picture. So don't expect, rather you can start doing whatever you can do, whatever the skill, whatever the kind of businesses plan or business plan you are thinking or you are trying to do, just do it. Don't look at the winning or losing kind of things. Of course, from my side, some of the things I have also noted that it's a very bold budget. It's a courageous budget. They have come out with lots of expenditure committing. As you see, the deficit has gone increase, from 7% to more than 9%. So definitely it is going to, the government is seriously going to spend the money. So that is going to really help. And privatization of the banks. So definitely from where the money will come. So privatization of the
Exactly.
banks and insurance company, and so many public sectors also they are into now. Definitely gone. They are now into the radar, government's radar to get divested. So government is definitely, so of course it would come with a different kind of problems also. The trade unions, maybe they will not be happy. And this 9.5, that deficit, it is a point of concern. So the credit rating of our country, credit rating, because when the deficit increases, the credit rating of the country, like it is given by Standard and Poor, Fitch, or various other international credit rating agency, they may downgrade our India's economy, but it's okay. Like everybody is very happy. The market is good. Of course, personally, I don't. If you ask me, or the demand side particularly, there is absolutely nothing we have received from this budget. But it's okay. Like when the country should come fast. We can sacrifice for our country. The demand side, the government has not done any support. Major support demand side is not there. Whatever the government has done on the supply side, basically on the businesses. So look at that support side, forget that negative side, what I was talking about. Focus on the positive side, that business definitely can explore better. The kind of atmosphere, the kind of infrastructure, the kind of policies, the budget, etc., which have been formulated, it is really going to help the economy. And it has already been reflected in the stock market. Privatization targets, of course, it's a huge 1.7 lakh crore kind of amount it has been targeted, which looks like very difficult. Then, of course, this time there is no fudging. I mean, a lot of earlier budgets we know that if one tax has reduced, the other tax has increased. But in this kind of budget, you see the government is very straight, very transparent. The government is talking about spending the money. So that's the good part of this budget. Again, some few things like the bad bank. Bad bank, you must have heard, like the bad bank would be a kind of what do you say? It would mediate the processing of the bad loan, because the bankers have given the loan and not able to recover. Now these bad loans would be sold by the bank to bad bank, and this bad bank is definitely do some uh, things to recover the money. But again, whatever 2 3 years of bad bank experience has not been so good. And this time also government is seriously thinking about or propose that there should be development lending banks. These developing lending banks, earlier, like ICC was earlier developing development lending banks. So what is the difference between banks and development lending banks? That the banks were supposed to be focusing on the short term loans, whereas the development lending banks are supposed to long term. But that's why the things were happening also earlier. Like ICC was earlier a development bank, but that didn't work. So that changed to now ICC changed from ICICI to ICICI Bank. And even today also there is one example of people are talking about IFCI, Indian Financial Finance or something like IFCI. So this is the clear example of this lending bank, development lending bank. It is not in a good shape. So people are talking that perhaps this will not help. But government is thinking something else. Like there has to be some difference between the short term and long term. So because our lot of power sector projects or infrastructure projects, they have got a long gestation period. So there has to be some development lending banks which should really address the long-term financing. And the bankers, of course, nowadays the banker does everything. They are selling also this short-term loan, and they are also selling the long-term loan. But specifically, looking into the kind of lot of banks are suffering because of financing, or NBFCs are suffering because of financing on the long term. So I think government is doing right in developing some development lending banks. Then healthcare, it's a good thing. Like all of you can expect that vaccination, thing for the healthcare. There might be, of course, there is a huge risk the economy is going to carry. Perhaps the high inflation rate and the interest rate may increase also subsequently, because when there is a lot of money in the economy, it would definitely result into higher inflation. And when there is a higher inflation, definitely bank wants to address this higher inflation by increasing the interest rate. So when the interest rate would increase, so surely it is going to dampen the economic activities. People would take less loan. So that would not be a good thing. So definitely we are carrying a huge risk. Maybe in future you can see the inflation will shoot up, and it would not be a good thing for our economy. Then of course, business, startup and MSMEs were expecting some kind of relief from the GST and income tax compliances. It's a every year budget. Every time the companies, they expect that should be less formalities, less compliances with regard to income tax, with regard to GST. But ultimately things become very complicated. If you open up your one page, generally people say, like for example, the income tax Sahaj return, the form number one. The moment you look at this and you download that form, it would you will be expecting it would be a one page, but now it would run into some 5, 6, 10 pages. And then if you look at the return number form two, it would be almost 20 around pages. So the compliances part definitely doesn't look good. So every time the bankers, the businesses, they always look forward that in the next budget maybe government would think about lessening the complexities connecting to this compliances part.
So you
And
talked
yeah.
about inflation, that how inflation can affect the stock market of the country.
Yes. See, the inflation when it is high, like if you look at inflation currently, it would be I think 5% around or 6% around. So
Hmm.
now when there is inflation, the government is going to increase the interest rate. When the interest rate increases, people are generally little risk neutral or risk averse kind of people, investors. So when they see that they can, when the government increases the interest rate just to arrest the inflation, just to reduce that inflation, people start thinking, यार यार वहां पे 1% बढ़ गया यार, 0.5 बढ़ गया इंटरेस्ट रेट, स्टॉक मार्केट से पैसे निकालो और बैंक में फिक्स डिपॉजिट लगा दो, है ना? So
Yes.
when there is a high inflation, definitely banks would, RBI would definitely increase the interest rate. That would lead to the commercial banks, they would also increase the interest on loan which they sanction. Now when the
Okay.
interest on loan increases, so definitely it will little affect the economic activities on the negative side. People would take less loan. So then the inflation
Yes.
can be arrested. People would utilize their whatever loan they have taken very diligently, or they would not take loan when the interest rate is high.
Yes.
And but it would also increase the interest on deposits. Okay, when the interest on loan increases, so interest on deposits also increases. Now, when the interest on deposits increases, so definitely people who are investing in stock market, a good chunk of the investors, they would like to also take away a good amount of money from their stock market, and they would like to keep money in the bank in the form of fixed deposit. Okay, so
Yes.
that would affect the stock market. That would affect the stock
In
market,
a
and
negative way. In a negative.
negatively. So last but not the least, my approach as a faculty, as a mentor, I must tell you that let's not criticize budget. Okay, let's focus. Even if
Yes.
whatever the something appears on the negative side, let us overlook this aspect, because when government prepares budget, so government is looking into a bigger picture, bigger canvas. They look into so many things.
Long-term approach.
Long term, definitely long term approach. But so that's what I have given a statement given by our very famous mentor, from
Exactly.
Infosys, Narayana Murthy, sorry,
Yes.
Narayana
Yes.
Murthy. And he said, let's stop reviewing budget, let's focus on producing quality production and services. So that is going
Exactly.
to definitely nullify if there is any negative impact of the budget, that is this product, focusing on the quality production and services, that is really going to help in nullifying the negative impact of budget. So let's not review budget, let's not criticize budget, because government is having a different role to play. So let's not focus on that. Let's focus on our quality production and services. Even as a faculty, I must focus on providing quality services to my students, to wherever I'm going for the training and whatever I am doing. Let me focus on more better quality, services when I provide to my students or even the industry people. Thank you.
Great, sir. Great, sir. The PPT was really enlightening. I hope all our viewers were in log, like they were getting the information from the PPT. Your PPT was so engaging, and the way you were teaching us about several things in the budget and related to stock market inflation was really good. Thank you for that. And if there are any questions, you can type in your chat box for MS Team, or you
Sure.
can write in the YouTube.
Sure.
So we will take them further. Okay, so sir, if you allow, can we go ahead with the debate questions?
Sure. Okay.
Okay. So what are the views on Atmanirbhar Bharat? As we can say that our Honorable Prime Minister of India always say about Atmanirbhar Bharat. So what are your views on it? Is that are those efforts reflecting in the budget?
So what is the last line? What you said? Are these going to affect?
Are those no, no, are these efforts reflecting in the budget? Is government doing something for that?
So definitely, yes. So whatever government has planned it, and also in the budget also whatever government has set aside the fund and the policies and the new things what government has I mean very specifically designed to focus on the negative impact of the corona.
Yes,
So
sir.
definitely it is all reflected, okay, in the Atmanirbhar Bharat, okay. So as you can see, lots of things in your slide only. This is quite self-explanatory, okay. You
Yes, sir.
count, you catch any point, you catch any point. It is all there, okay. Say for example, the first line, the 3 lakh crores collateral-free automatic loan, okay. So I've
Yes, sir.
already said before this corona also government had provided a huge support. Like if you remember, government has said 1.4 um, uh, lakh crore, 1 point or around close to 1.5 lakh crore, if I'm not wrong. So this much of money has already been injected into the
Mm-hmm.
economy.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so providing a lot of support to the MSMEs. So anybody who is planning to start a business, and definitely a lot of support system is here, and the loans are at a very less rate of interest. Okay, and there would be also less collateral requirement, and in many cases the collateral is not required.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So anybody who wants to really be Atmanirbhar, he wants to start a business or he wants to be independent. Okay. So in that case, definitely a good amount of scope is there. It will help, surely help. You can read this slide,
Yes, sir. Yes,
n number of things. And
exactly.
in fact, you can download anybody who is serious about doing something for the country. I can advise that you just download the link I've already given, in this slide itself, like here I've given the link. You can see this link. You can download this entire document PDF file. That each and every point what I'm talking about in this slide, it has been supported with a lot of narratives. Okay, so those
Mm-hmm.
narratives are exactly, you can be very feel proud, if you want to really
Yes.
start something on your own, if you want to become Atmanirbhar. So surely lots of things. Okay, and of
Yes.
course,
Yes.
you I think you are an engineer perhaps, na?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So beautiful. You can, the students who are doing businesses, definitely they should do something. But engineers, they can like digital payment system and lots of thing on the digital mode. You can, like computer science students, they can look forward to a lot of support system, and for the engineers, IT people, uh, sky is the limit. I can tell you, sky is the limit.
Yes,
Lots
sir.
of
Of
things,
course.
lots of things.
Okay,
Yes.
sir. So moving ahead to second question. Before that, I want to convey to all our audience that please write your queries in the chat box and the comment box. We will take them further. Okay, moving ahead to second
Sorry
question.
to interrupt.
Yes,
Sorry to
yes.
interrupt. Actually, I just get to know that students are not able to access the chat box. So,
Okay.
sir, we need to unmute them for their queries.
Okay. So that I
Okay.
have to do, or
Sir, I am unmuting Jitin Gambhir. I think
uh-huh.
he has something. So, Jatin, you can unmute yourself.
Okay.
Jatin, you can unmute yourself and ask. Okay, I think Jitin is not audible or something is an issue. Kunj, if you want
No.
to ask any query, you can unmute yourself.
Hmm. Either they
Uh,
must raise their hands and you allow them to unmute themselves.
Yes, sir. I have a doubt. First of all, thank you, sir, for enlightening us. Sir, my doubt was you told us to try to avoid the negative impacts of that budget. So my question was, government had allotted 93,000 crore on education,
Yeah.
but previous year it was 96,000. So as if we compare, it is 3,000 crore less. So can you comment or is it sufficient?
You said the government has set aside 93,000 crore for the education sector. And next, what
Yes.
you said?
Sir, but in the previous year it was 96,000 crore.
Okay. Okay. So 93 and 96, there is no huge difference. But here you focus like lots of support system to the whatever you say, like in the education sector. Acha, if you have attended that, did you attend that 2 days this National Education Policy seminar conducted by Galgotia University? Did you watch the videos, or did you watch the seminars which was conducted in the last 2 days? आपने attend किया था?
Yes, sir.
So
I was
remember,
on video side.
remember even I today also, I just now only I said that IIT Delhi, what they are doing, they are giving 50 lakhs of support money to faculty who can take sabbatical leave for 3 years and start a business. Because the faculty they talk about, just like Khan sir is talking too much of things. Okay, why not Khan sir should also start a business? So if Khan sir can speak a lot of good things about business, why not Khan sir also start a business? Okay.
Exactly.
So this IIT Delhi, they are giving 50 lakhs of support money to the faculty, and now the faculty can start a business. Maybe that faculty would not like to join back that institute back, and that
Mhm.
faculty is going to spend and start something, take some students, start a business. Even PhD students have been told to instead of preparing their thesis, let's run a startup. You understand? So when I'm
Yes,
saying
sir.
when I'm saying that let's run a startup, definitely who would provide the support? The funding would has to be done by institute, and who would inject this fund to the institute or IITs or Galgotia University? Definitely, government would provide support.
Yes, sir, you are right, sir.
Okay, so there are n number of things. You have to open up your eyes, and definitely faculty is supposed to guide you. Faculty is supposed to mentor you. N number of things. If you can see, if you can read business, definitely is all there. Only thing is you need support, and definitely government is there doing the nice role in getting you that fund.
Mm.
So look at university. They have been giving sanction. UGC. Look at UGC. So much of money is there. Okay. So don't look at the formalities. Formalities part, maybe one or two of your friends can easily handle. But the best part is, the main part is, you have to identify that what exactly you are going to do, what the business venture you are planning, what would be the startup model. And of course, you cannot do it by yourself. Maybe you can hire the teacher. Maybe you can hire your friends. Maybe you can hire also some on payment basis to some external person. But you need money. So from where the money will come? Of course, the government is going to help you, but maybe you can also start something from your own side. I mean, like I told you, my wife is running a small business in my home. She's a housewife, but definitely I have given some money, 4 to 5
Great, sir.
lakhs. I've given to my wife. She's happy and she's मेरे को बहुत ज़्यादा खर्च नहीं करना पड़ता है. Because she earns, so a lot of money she spends on her own. Okay,
Very
so definitely आत्मनिर्भर तो मेरे घर से ही शुरू होता है.
definitely, sir.
Okay,
Very good. But sir, good example for it.
right. बताइए और बताइए.
Sir,
Okay.
second,
So firstly, I want to say sorry to Jitin sir. I don't know about him.
अच्छा
So
sorry हाँ Jitin okay.
okay.
Dr.
So
Jitin, yes.
Jitin sir, if you want to say something, you can unmute yourself and you can continue.
Dr. Jitin, so
Yes, sir. He is in meeting and he raised his hand.
okay.
But
sir, you are muted, sir. Jitin sir, you are muted.
अच्छा मैंने म्यूट कर दिया.
no, sir.
Jitin sir, kindly unmute yourself.
Jitin sir, you can unmute yourself if you want. Okay, maybe some issue or something else.
अच्छा हाँ
So
yes.
let's Ujjwal to. I think Ujjwal also have some questions. I am allowed to unmute yourself. Ujjwal, you can ask.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
So you talk about supply side, but sir, my question is, why didn't government do anything about demand side? Because even before our economy got hit by pandemic, there was a GDP decline in our economy was in decline for 8 quarters consistently because of a demand issue. So my question is, sir, what can be done for raising demand in market and economy so that sir, GDP growth can pick up?
I also think in that way. But let's respect our whatever the policies given, formulated or proposed by our finance minister. Let's respect that. But definitely one support I can have for our government, that when you spend huge amount of money, on the supply side, okay, so the money is definitely coming back to us. Like for say example, uh, why I am only thinking about Galgotia University? Why I am only thinking about Galgotia University? Why not I should also start a business? If like today I am conducting a training program, but tomorrow I can also conduct the same training program for any industry, for any business school, and I can earn a lot of money. Okay, so when the supply side there is a huge amount of money prevailing, or it is all in circulation now, so definitely that will come to us, no doubt. So if the government is not providing support, government has their constraint, because somehow something has to be compromised. So that part I leave it to the government. We have nothing to comment on that. Let's focus on doing something more. Like for example, the working hours. You can see, look for. I mean, if you look at Australia, you can look at a lot of developed countries. What we are doing, we are spending. We are having only one source of income. Why not we also should think about two or three source of income? Say for example, there was one policy what the government was supposed to make to reduce the working hours, maybe from 8 hours to maybe 4 hours in a day. So now if a person who was earlier working 8 hours can now devote only 4 hours in say Galgotia University and can connected to another 2 3 places, there also I can earn. This will reduce the unemployment position. This would definitely help the young people to get a job, number one. And number two is I can have another source of income also. So this is going to be a win-win for every person. Why only look at government? Why we not to think about ourselves? Why not blame ourselves also, that whatever government is doing, they are doing, and they are doing in a proper way also. Let's look at ourselves. अपने आप को हम लोग देखें, हम लोग बहुत कुछ कर सकते हैं. Definitely supply side is money there. तो वो पैसा आपके पास आएगा. मेरा दिल कहता है आएगा यार, डरने की कोई बात नहीं है, पैसा आएगा, है ना? पैसे की वो बोलते ना, पैसे की बोलते ना, कुछ पॉजिटिव सोचोगे, जैसे बोलते ना कि पैसे की कमी नहीं, पैसा बहुत है। अगर ऐसे सोचने लगोगे तो डेफिनेटली पैसे आएगा। मतलब मजाक कर रहा हूँ, लेकिन आपको मेहनत भी करना है। If you go on sincerely focusing on your skill, definitely sky is the limit. That supply side money, which is more in the circulations, that will definitely come to you.
Thank you, sir.
Great, sir. Right, sir. Right. You are right. I think we all should do something like that because not we have so much potential in ourselves. We can start a business by only depending on the jobs and placement.
Yes.
Not only for that only.
Yes. Very true. Very true. God bless you. आप अगर हम लोग अगर सारे अगर अच्छे सोचेंगे ना, तो डेफिनेटली हमारा देश बहुत आगे निकल जाएगा, बहुत आगे निकल जाएगा। ठीक है?
Yes, sir. So, moving ahead to another question, definition of a small business is changed. Like it is beneficial for small businesses. Like what is that?
Just look at this slide. Just look at this slide. Now,
Yes.
earlier the micro, I was just given the example of this micro. Can you see this slide?
Yes, sir, I can see it.
Okay. Now, earlier, just one example that because this is the earlier rules and now this is the revised. You know? So earlier, any small setup, any company or business which has got an investment up to 25 lakhs, they are being categorized as micro. Okay. Now the investment limit has increased from 25 lakhs to 1 crore. Okay.
Yes,
Now
sir.
a company which has not only, I mean, the company which has gone to even 1 crore, they will also be categorized under micro. Okay.
Yes,
Now
sir.
look
Yes.
at this one, the medium, the extreme one. So earlier investment up to 20 crore, 10 crores was considered as medium. Now it has increased to 20 crores. Similarly, the investment which was 5 crore, okay. So now it has increased to 20 crores. Like I cannot see this properly. So definitely more companies would come. They would fall into this medium. Okay. So
Yes,
if
sir.
the more companies would come under this particular framework, so definitely they would be having the advantage. So advantage, I told you that the electricity rate would be lower, interest rate would be lower, and so much of subsidy, so much of less compliances. And if you are doing your business through digital system, there is further scope for getting the relief, etc., etc. Okay, so
Yes, sir. Yes.
n number of things. So this is definitely going to help. Okay, and when they are good, I mean, when they are improving, they are progressing, more jobs, more transactions, more business, and GDP will definitely increase. So jobs will also be there. Okay, because maximum number of people are here and they are being engaged by micro, small, medium enterprises. Okay,
Yes.
so definitely when these are improving, these small setups, MSMEs are doing well. So more employment position will also improve. Okay, and more economic activities, more GDP, and a dream like 5 trillion US dollar GDP. You know, or what Prime Minister has earlier had the vision. You know, the dream
Yes.
that we should reach to 5 trillion US dollar GDP by 2024. Uh, yes, we can achieve this. Why not? Now, if you look at the stock market, of course, stock market is not the complete economy. That we must remember that stock market, we are now very positive thinking about going from now 50,000 to say 1 lakh now people are
1
talking
lakh.
about.
Yes, sir.
है ना?
Yes.
तो अगर ये सब हो जाता है तो definitely sky is the limit. Even our this gentleman Mukesh Ambani from
Yes.
Reliance, so he has said by 2030 we'll become $10 trillion. So why not?
Great. Yes,
I'm
sir.
very positive. I'm very positive. Let's focus on the very positive, positive, create a lot of positive vibes, and
And
combine.
actually, this
Yeah,
new era of entrepreneurship developing in the country will definitely promote this economy of India.
surely. Yeah, true.
Okay, now we are having a girl, Rishita. Rishita, kindly unmute yourself and ask question. What you want to ask?
Thank you. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, I just wanted to ask a very general question, not from the entrepreneurial point of view, but it's a very general question.
Yes,
So, sir, the budget of any country is prepared for the common man. But the budget that has been prepared by our government in this particular year, promoting capitalization according to me. And capitalization ultimately brings wrath upon the common man. So, do you think that they are promoting it or not? And is capitalization necessarily good for us in a way that maybe I am not aware of? So can you shed some light upon this?
Yeah, true. So you are from engineering or business, school of business, tech,
Sir, I'm from SOB.
SOB only. Okay. You are a BBA or MBA student?
Sir, I'm BBA second year.
Second year. Okay, good. So your question is very valid one. That we are mixed economy, So we are not a capitalism. We are not a socialistic kind of setup. We are a mixed economy country, So we balance between these two. So sometimes we have to take, like when I'm talking about balancing, and we are not exactly the capitalism. We are not exactly the socialism. We are basically in between these two. So mixed economy. So when you agree to this fact that we are mixed economy, so don't you agree that when the government wants to spend a huge expenditure, earlier we were not spending like this. Earlier we never spent like this, and the government earlier government, even this government also not ever thought about spending like this. But this time they have done it. So desperate time, maybe you can say desperate time and desperate measures, but I'm not saying it's a desperate measure. Actually, it was the need of the hour. If you have been reading the news before the budget, everybody, not a single person I have seen that person has said, no, we should not go for a capital expenditure. Okay, so this time was not a general time. This was not a normal time. This was an exceptional time. So let's look into in case of exceptional time, definitely we have to have some kind of maybe exceptional measures. So and look at the kind of impact. Let's not talk about what Khan sir is talking about. Let's look at the impact in the economy itself. Of course, stock market is not the barometer. Of course, some theory says stock market is a barometer, but I also don't agree that stock market is the barometer. But look at one part, at least you will agree that it's a part of the economy. So when you
Exactly.
agree that it's a part of the economy, then look at this part. When this part is so happy, okay, and there is a very positive climate, a lot of FDIs are coming, lots of new
Yes,
things, like you must have seen, like Google, Facebook, they have all started investing in Reliance
yes,
Industries. Okay, so the Reliance is changing their business model. Everybody is now thinking to do something. Even Reliance Industry is also changing their business model. Okay, people are, I mean,
yes.
if you look at the automobile sector, they are all jumping into this electronic vehicle. Okay,
EV vehicles.
okay. So many things are happening, and at this point of time, if the government doesn't take the right act, I believe it's a right action, and if the government doesn't take this kind of measures, then definitely would be lagging behind the other countries. Okay. So look at
Exactly.
this time, the defense expenditure has not so significantly increased. Generally, what the country we used to see, that there is a lot of things happening on the Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan, and we go on spending on the defense side. I tend to little, not happy when government spends more on the defense side. At least this time there is not so significant jump on the defense side. Okay, so there is some amount, but definitely not like earlier times. So this was the need of the hour that the government has taken. So don't mix up this situation with the earlier situation. And of course, the first thing, as I said, that as a manager also, you need to be always balancing. When you are studying business, please add this line from my side. Management is not just to manage it. Always add this line, because this is my funda, that manager need to always balance. The manager must develop this ability to strike off. Like that is called the trading. The right word is called the trading off. So neither this
Yes.
side nor that side. You have to really strike a balance between these two sides. So I believe the government is trying to do that. So let's support our government. Okay.
Yes.
Okay,
Sir,
sir, thank you.
one more question arriving that is there any specific college or course on entrepreneurship in our country?
Definitely everywhere they are, beta. I mean, Galgotia University also has, I believe there are some courses, but I'm still to explore, understand those things. But I think that it is all there. And even BBA or MBA also, we have a lot of subjects on the entrepreneurship. And we have got a
Yes.
minor. We are planning to also. We have got a minor. I think, if I'm not wrong, then In the MBA, you have got you can go for having electives on this side also, because we are exploring, and more will definitely come, because again, in the education sector also, a lot of things have to change now. So definitely I can look forward to change in the course pattern, also. Maybe you can see that in our School of Business, we are going to change our also courses, because national education policy, as we are committed now, our respected honorable vice chancellor, okay, and other dignitaries in the management. So all we have all taken oath, place, we follow this
Yes, sir.
national education policy. So
Yes,
definitely
it is.
it is going to give it is definitely going to bring a lot of changes in our education system in the Galgotia University itself. You can definitely count a lot of good things now.
Yes, sir. So recently, I was also in IIT Bombay's E-Summit. There I got to know about that our Deputy CM Manish Sisodia Delhi is
Yeah,
also taking measures for that. Means they are introducing entrepreneurship mindset courses from
definitely.
school age only, from
Yeah, yeah.
school side.
Every university, every college must talk about now this, how to make this, how to follow this, how to make rules, policies, and create infrastructure for this
Induce
national education
environment.
policy.
Yes.
And this is one of the objective also of national education policy, to develop more entrepreneurs in our country. Okay, so definitely it
Yes.
is all there.
So, sir, my other question is, what are the plans in the budget for MSMEs directly targeting the benefits of MSME?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, see, it is all there in the slide itself. Okay.
Yes, sir. That's I was saying that all the
Uh,
answers are in the slide only.
no, no, it's okay. I understand. So MSMEs, they are the backbone. The most of the jobs are there in this MSMEs. Okay. So every government, when they are putting across their budget, so definitely they are quite instrumental in keeping a lot of money. Like you can see this, every line that counts for this MSMEs. Okay. And even MSMEs are supposed to not to pay 30% tax, normal tax rate. They are supposed to pay 25%. So that aspect I didn't cover, but now I am telling you, these MSMEs are going to pay less tax. Okay, 25% tax rate. And I
Yes,
also talked about that 15 percentage, like I talked about that जो मंडी वाला जो business है ना, cold storage वाला facility, है ना, this
Sir,
हाँ,
excuse me.
yeah,
Sir, sorry to interrupt, but some noise is coming from your mic side.
no, no, it is not there.
I think now it's fine, but
no,
just before some noise was coming.
yes,
अच्छा,
yes,
अच्छा,
yes.
Okay, now
No
it's fine.
problem.
You can continue.
okay, okay. So what I was talking about is
Multi system in the
so
business.
MSME is the definitely focus in every budget. So
Yes.
as you can see this slide, n number of things are there. Okay, and if you want to go into more details, you can download the details from this site. The link is already I'm talking about. I have already talked about this link. You can download and can see lots of details, the narrative, everything. So definitely it is going to have lots of things. I mean, government is committed. Government is very much committed, and the
Yes,
budget is
yes.
definitely prepared, structured in that way. Definitely.
Okay, so great. Sir, my final question is that what you think that further things should be added to the budget or what the government missed? Any suggestions?
Yeah, yeah. I was thinking that, like the boy asked, the boy asked about the demand side. So I was really thinking to government should have thought about this demand side. I have mentioned here. You can see this last line. Few support towards demand side of the economy was expected. So this
Yes, sir.
thing I'm missing it out. But let's let the last line again. When you look at the doubt, there's not many doubt. So you could see the last line. So let's not review the budget. Let's look at when the supply side is good, it would support the economy, and of course it would have been better. I must conclude by saying this. This could have been better. The budget, there is always scope for the improvement. So looking from that perspective, the government definitely had they thought about giving some support on the demand side, this would have been really good. But another aspect, I must tell you, the line before this last line, that business, startup and MSMEs were expecting some relief from the compliances. This time, today also, some of the students have witnessed one CA who came, Mr. Rajender, who came and talked about GST. So I asked this question also to him, ki, what is your comment about that GST compliances should have been little, relaxed. So he said it is definitely we were expecting, but it didn't happen. But maybe next time it would the government would definitely seriously focus, because the government is aware. Government is aware that yes, it has to be done. Maybe you can see in between there would be some changes in the, maybe due to by changing some ordinances, because now there is a different kind of setup also. Government can bring also, government in between can bring also some ordinance and can come out with some kind of modifications and provide some kind of support in reducing the compliances part, because businessmen are supposed to focus on businesses, not on the compliances part. So if there is less compliances, so you can channelize your mind, your energy, your resources towards running the business, running everything properly. So when you are very overburdened with lot of complaint, इस फॉर्म को इस तारीख में जमा करना है, उस फॉर्म को उस तारीख में जमा करना है, ये करना है, वो करना है, तो ये सब करते रहेंगे तो बिजनेस कब करेंगे? ठीक है? So let's I mean the government knows this thing, and we can look forward to a lot of changes also in this compliances part. Okay. Let's hope. Yeah.
Sir, a question from Weird side, that how college entrepreneurs having startup ideas for automobile and mechanical engineering, how should they proceed with it?
See, if you look at the electronic vehicle, now government is providing lots of support to MSMEs to set up small, even battery charging, that battery charging facility, So lots of businesses are now yet to come on charging center, battery charging center, and so this business can really come in a large, in large numbers, and the support system is also there. As I said, if you are MSMEs, you have got a lot of support system. So a lot of charging center you can look, instead of like there is a filling station, petrol filling or fuel filling stations are there. So similarly, there will be a lot of charging centers. Okay, so more the charging centers for the electronic vehicles. Okay, definitely it's a big business now. Okay, so plus the digital payment system and the mechanism, as government has already set aside some funds. Maybe, of course, some of the budget proposals are yet to be explained. They have to be, the government will take some time, maybe within a month or two, the government will come out with lots of, support system to understand the major proposals. Like, for example, scrappage. You must have heard about the scrappage of the cars to support the automobile sector. Okay.
Yes.
So this is again a new business can be. We have no such facilities to scrap the car. Like you must have seen a lot of maybe outer skirt, of that city. You will find lots of space have to be taken up, and then all the old bikes and cars have to be.
They are dumped.
हाँ, तो वो सब नहीं है, वो सब में भी business आने वाला है. So why not you think about, why not somebody should take up, if they have got a land property, why not to also think about this business?
Exactly. So great. This is the thing which we were expecting from this debate session, that we all can see many opportunities coming in the future 5 years because of this only EV vehicles segment. So if you can innovate, if you can think, then you can have multiple options to do business in. Why only not depending only on the placements and setting for placements? This is a sector which we all need to see, and we can explore it.
Very true. Correct. Yeah.
In between, I want to invite Ishan Bhaiya to announce something. You want to announce a competition. So Ishan Bhaiya.
Yeah. Thanks, Atvik. So the session is going really beautiful. It's always a blessing to hear, sir. So the thing which I wanted to announce is that one competition that we were going to arrange. I will share the data in the MS Teams chat, and those who are on YouTube or Instagram. We'll get it on our Instagram and YouTube pages about it. The info is that we are arranging a competition to pitch the startup or business ideas. It's a pitching competition. So as you know, it's already happening around the India as the government is promoting lots of startups and businesses. These are new niche. So the first prize would be 3,000, second prize 2,000, and third prize would be 1,500. Only the Galgotias, like student in Galgotias or of GCET, would be allowed to participate. Team size would be minimum 2 or maximum 4. There is no entry fees. You can, just create an idea, create a pitch deck, and apply for it. So that's all from our side, and it's. Please continue the session. All the info will be given on our Instagram handle. So do follow there, search for ESLGU, and you'll get all the info there. Thank you.
So, sir, I think we have discussed enough about it. So we should wind it up.
Yes. Please go ahead.
Thank you so much for an interactive session. I'm sure we all got our points, and really, it was a very helpful, enlightening session because of efforts of us, sir. Thank you, sir, for your time and efforts, and I hope we have discussed upon it well.
Sure. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
God bless you.
Thanks to all attendees too. So please fill the feedback form. You will get the feedback form in our chat. And thank you to Firozuddin sir too. It's a really very interesting session, and learned too much about the budget and all this, especially some terminology you discussed today. So that's
okay. All the best, beta. Okay, thank you. God bless you. Bye.
Bye, sir. Thank you.
Bye.
So thanks all for joining the event, and it was really a great session, and sir enlightened on lots of topics, and it was really very clear and enlightening from his side, and I hope you all have learned a lots of things. This is the pitching competition poster that I was discussing about. You can apply it from the link, and it will be on our Instagram handle. It will be on our LinkedIn page. You can check us there on the ESL IICGU. And you can apply. For any further issues or queries, you can mail us at esl@galgotiasuniversity.edu.in. Thanks a lot for coming today, and it was really a brilliant session. Thank you so much, and have a good night.
I want to share something.
Yes, please.
Okay, so the session to khatam ho chuka hai, so let's be little informal, and I want to say that देखो आप लोगों ने पूरा सेशन एंजॉय किया होगा और है ना काफी सारी नई चीजें सीखी होंगी, तो हम लोग लेकर के जाएंगे इस सेशन से। मैं ये इस बारे में थोड़ा सा बात कर लूं, है ना। आई थिंक वी हैव 38 अटेंडेंस हियर, एंड आई डोंट नो एनी टीचर इज देयर और नो। ओके, मैं ये कहना चाह रहा हूँ कि सर ने आप लोगों को इतनी सारी बातें बोली और अपॉर्चुनिटीज दिखाई अलग अलग, जो ई सेल के ईवी व्हीकल्स सेगमेंट जो आ रहा है हमारे इंडिया में, ना, उसकी वजह से आने वाला है। सो वी कैन सी सेवरल अपॉर्चुनिटीज। सो ये जो सेशन था ये इसीलिए रखा गया था कि वी कैन सी दीज अपॉर्चुनिटीज और हम बजट के ऊपर बात कर सकें कि वो एंटरप्रेन्योर्स के लिए क्या दे रहा है। सो स्लाइड का लिंक आप लोगों को मिल गया होगा, स्लाइड भी डाउनलोड कर लेना, और साथ में ये वीडियो यूट्यूब पर भी होगी। अगेन यू शुड सी इट, क्योंकि इस वीडियो में काफी कुछ डिस्कस हुआ है, और अगर आप एक एक पॉइंट को अच्छे से नोट डाउन करते हुए चलोगे तो you can see many opportunities through this video only. Many points are discussed in this video. So, okay, Tata. We can wind it up, bhaiya.
Yes, of course. This was a great session and was a great ending. So you can watch again on YouTube, and all the things will be updated on Instagram. You can like us there, and if you want to, share it on your story, tag ESL, and we'll be, happy to connect with you further on our further seminars.
Yes,
really great. Thank you, guys.
You all are requested to subscribe the channel also and share in your network, and further और भी seminars step ESL present करता रहेगा आप लोग. Okay, thank you.